Hey there, it's Lisa. It's Monday. You're watching The Revolution. This week I'm talking about fat characters in television shows. I don't know if you've noticed, but there don't tend to be very many heavier characters, especially heavy women. Men that are overweight on TV shows tend to be like Homer Simpson or the dad from Family Guy, sort of like bumbling, stupid, always chasing after the donut or whatever. But at least they get to be leading roles. You hardly ever see an overweight woman in a leading role in a TV show. Usually they are the supportive best friend to the lead. They're usually there to provide comic relief. They're usually the joke that provides the comic relief is usually related to food or the fact that they're overweight. They don't tend to have romantic partners. They don't tend, and that tends to be like their theme. They're desperate for love. They eat too much. Heavier women that are on reality shows tend to either be, the point of their characters to be like yelled at by a trainer to try and lose the amount of weight that they can as quickly as possible, or that tends to be like their storyline, like the fat girl in the modeling competition, the one fat girl, and that's her storyline. So I was trying to think of some shows that had characters on it that maybe were a little more realistic or that portrayed fat women in a different way. And I came up with a few. Now, I haven't seen all of these shows myself, so feel free to weigh in on them. I know a big one that I've read a lot about is Drop Dead Diva, which I don't think is still on the air, but I know that featured, the point of it was, I think, a supermodel that woke up in a heavier woman's body and how she dealt with that or something. But I did, from what I understand, she did have sort of like romantic interests and a social life, so I think that would be considered a positive portrayal. Another one, I've only seen one episode of this, is Mike and Molly, but it has one of my favorite actresses, Melissa McCarthy. And I do know that the two characters who are both overweight, Mike and Molly, met each other at an Overeaters Anonymous meeting. But from what I understand, at least, not all of the jokes revolve around the fact that they're both two fat people. Melissa McCarthy's like a very physical actress, and I think some of the jokes, are non-related to weight. Another one I had was Super Fun Night, which is like one of my favorite shows, with Rebel Wilson. But I'm a bit conflicted about this one. A lot of the jokes around her character, which she is the main character, Rebel Wilson's character, Kimmy, but she still relies a lot on fat jokes, which feels weird because then it sort of feels like you're laughing at her, and it's this weird dynamic because she's encouraging you. It's her show, but she's still making herself the butt of these kind of fat jokes. Like, there's one scene where Kimmy's like running, and she's like, "Oh, somebody tweeted that there's donuts in the break room." Like, why does the joke always have to be about donuts? But on the other hand, she is the leading lady. She's the star of the show. She is dating. She has a boyfriend on the show. And then also all of the characters on that show are sort of like broad, bizarre caricatures. Like, nobody on that show is really a normal person. So there's that. And then I also put on here sort of like honorable mention The Mindy Project, which is another one of my favorite shows. I don't really consider Mindy Kaling to be like a very overweight person, but I think sort of by Hollywood standards she is. And I do appreciate that a lot of times in that show, different people make comments to her about her body, and she's just lets it like roll right off of her. Like, I remember one episode where somebody tells her she needs to lose 10 pounds, and she's like, "No, I don't. I'm gorgeous." Like, she's very self-confident. And so I appreciate that sort of as a character on a TV show. At any rate, I don't know if I missed any, but those are my picks for that's my thoughts at least on some TV shows I know with fat women in them. If I missed anything, let me know. Have a great day, and I will see you next Monday.